Welcome to Education, Leadership, and Beyond, Surviving and Thriving. My name is Andrew Marvada, host of the show, and good afternoon to you. Happy St. Patrick's Day, everybody. It's a beautiful day here in the Northeast. A little chilly, but it is March. Hey, but happy St. Patrick's Day to everyone out there. Proud member of the Education Podcast Network, Voice Ed Radio Canada, wherever you're taking in your podcast. Thanks for your support. Thanks for being part of the show. And jump in live today. Say hello to our guests. Coming to us from Chicago, Dr. Bill Truesdale and Dr. Vinni Hall, co-authors of Question Power. They are educators. They are instructional leaders. And they are veterans in the education world. I'm excited to chat with them. I met Bill at the Illinois Principals Conference. Shout out to the IPA. Again, just excited to learn about Question Power. Look at that cover. Look at that cover. Whoever came up with this, Bill and Vinny, I love the tree there in the shape of a question mark. But we will meet them live from Chicago in a moment. First, a word from IXL. Speaking about the questions, IXL gears those questions to the kids' levels and adjusts as it's going. Pretty cool stuff. Here's a word from them.
I'd like to thank IXL for sponsoring today's podcast. Over 1 million teachers use IXL in their classroom every day. IXL is the most widely used online learning and teaching platform K through 12. It empowers schools with complete curriculum, thousands of instructional resources, robust reporting, assessment data, and more. It saves teachers a lot of valuable time with ready-made plans aligned to the standards and the textbooks. Built-in engagement tools like custom competitions make learning fun for students. And IXL's diagnostic is research proven to be a strong predictor of performance on standardized assessments. And the best part, everything I just mentioned is all integrated into one platform, so you can simplify your EdTech tools. Visit IXL.com to lead your students towards data-driven excellence today. The link is in the show notes. And again, appreciate IXL sponsoring today's podcast.
Thank you, IXL, for that. Let's get started. It's March 17th. It's St. Patrick's Day, and it's also March Madness. I don't know if you're a basketball person. Chicago is a basketball-rich town, and I know a lot of people are spending time doing their brackets. My buddy still writes them by hand. He likes to do that. But March Madness, and you know I used to referee college basketball. These teams, these officials, these schools, these coaches, everybody involved with the tournaments wants to be at their best when it matters most. And here's 3 quick things that you could do as a school leader. Maybe you're a teacher and you got a big class tomorrow, right? And you want to be your best. You have a presentation you want to give. You have a graduation speech you're going to be doing in a couple months. How to be your best when it matters most. Number 1, rely on your training. You've been doing it a while. Bill and Vinny are educators for a long time. Number 1, rely on your training. You have gone through the steps. You've done it before, right? Those people are going to be shooting free throws and 3-pointers. They've done it thousands of times. Rely on your training. Number 2, slow it down. When we're excited, when there's a lot of bright lights, when it's a big event, we go too fast. Slow it down. Slow down your breathing. Slow down your movements. Slow it down. Slow everything around you down. Slow it down. And number 3, right? Sometimes we hear in our head like, oh, my God, I'm going to screw up. Or, oh, I'm nervous. Or, oh, we hear. Shut that off and talk to yourself. I'm going to do a great job today. I belong here. I've deserved to be here. I've earned the right to do this. I am going to do a great job today. Affirmations. Here's one that I like all the time. I can do this. Positive affirmations. So 3 quick things. Rely on your training, slow it down, and talk to yourself to be your best when it matters most. Enough of me chit-chat. Let's get the show started, friends. Live from Chicago. Here they are in the office. They're working today. Vinni Hall and Bill Truesdale. Welcome to Education, Leadership, and Beyond, friends.
Glad to be with you.
Yeah, thank you, Andrew. We appreciate this opportunity.
Yeah, I love it. I love your passion about it, Bill and Vinny, and really nice to connect. Let's start there. How did the two of you tell me about the relationship between the two of you? How did you come together? Bill, why don't you start us off?
Absolutely. This began way back in 1997. I was a student of Dr. Hall's in special education. I was working on my master's degree, and I had Dr. Hall as my professor. And I learned an awful lot from Dr. Hall about how to be a really good instructor.
Okay.
And I modeled that when I went and became an adjunct professor. I modeled everything that I do after Dr. Hall.
I was a baby when I was teaching that class.
And were you in the same place, Bill? Did you join then Vinny in the same place?
Yes, exactly. So I had the opportunity, like I said, to be able to be in her class as a student and to be able to learn from her. And her whole philosophy of teaching is all about questioning and getting people to think about how they can relate questioning to real life experiences and challenging them. I will say Dr. Hall was a very thorough professor. She really helped a lot when it came to understanding concepts.
I paid her to say that.
Vinny, I'm an Italian from New York. I know you're from New York, and before I saw
can you
your
hear
picture,
it? Can you hear it?
I was thinking I'd see, like an Italian-looking Vinny. Tell me about your name, Vinny. Tell me about your name.
I grew up in an Italian neighborhood too. Yeah, very Italian.
Yeah, but how about your name? Is it Vivian? How is it short?
No. My mother named me Vinnie Maria. Yes.
Wow. And
there's always a story to the name. I don't know what the story is, but there's always a story.
Wow. Well,
yep.
the name fits your personality. Vinny, and you, tell me about the teaching there. How long I know you're an adjunct now, but you're a lifelong professor there?
No, I spent 26 years in Chicago public schools in a variety of roles, including administration. Then went on to teach at Chicago State for a while, and then eventually at the University of Illinois in Chicago. And I served on the Illinois State Board of Education. That's over all of the schools in the state for about 10 years. And, I've just been at it a long time. I'm a member of 2 school boards, and I'm happy to, shine a light on them.
Yeah. So you have this student of yours. He's very eager. How does this relationship grow into, Vinny? How did it grow into, hey, let's write a book together? How did that happen?
Well, I kind of think that, he called me up to ask me, he was principal of a school, Taylor School on the South Side. And, I usually keep up with my students, frankly, and many of them keep up with me. And he said, do you mind coming to my school and doing an in-service? I said, no problem, because I love to run my mouth. So we went over there. We had a great time. And then he called me back all the time. So, there are not too many people that will do an in-service for free. But in this case, I really enjoy getting to know his faculty and watching him be very successful in that environment.
Okay. And Bill, where'd the idea then come, hey, Vinny, let's write this book together?
I think that's what happened. We were both thinking about how we could mentor and coach. I was working my terminal degree is in curriculum and instruction. So I was always interested in why kids are failing in some classrooms. And it occurs to me that the teachers are asking just yes and no questions. They're really not trying to figure out, what do these kids really understand about what I'm saying? And then we just started running our mouths together. And the next thing you know, we said, maybe we should talk about that a little bit more, explore it a little bit more, and actually sit down in our classrooms and see. So as a student teacher supervisor, having written curriculum for student teachers, I started really listening. Bill started really listening to his faculty. And we realized that some of the questions that some of our people did just really didn't advance instructional efficacy. In other words, the questions that were asked didn't yield that they knew what to ask the kids to find out what they thought they taught. And that's not a bad reflection on our teachers. Please, they work very hard.
Absolutely.
But you said something at the beginning of the program. Take your time.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, writing a book is difficult. Writing a book with a co-author can be challenging too. Bill, I know this is your second book, correct, Bill?
I co-authored one previous book before with Jack Canfield called Success Mastery. And chapter 11 talks about my journey that I went into becoming a principal mentor.
Okay. Well, tell me, what was it like working with Vinny, and what made the book mesh? And then also, what were some hurdles that you had?
I think one of the things that made the book mesh is, again, Vinny's passion for understanding students. And I've had that opportunity, like I said, to be her student and to be able to be in that environment with her teaching, but also too, she's been mentoring me, as the adjunct professor. I've served as the adjunct professor at Chicago State University. I had been there for almost 25 years as adjunct professor with special education, on top of being a principal and other things that I'm able to do too. And it was just that whole thing of understanding how the way Vinny thinks, because her and I think totally different when it comes to that. And that's what makes it also unique too, is that we can bounce ideas off each other and we can challenge each other. And we've had some really good conversations about education and questioning, along with a number of beef sandwiches and dinners that we've had together over the last 3 years in writing the book.
Yeah.
I cook sometimes, and then sometimes Bill doesn't cook.
He partakes.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, so Bill,
exactly.
Again, Vinny said earlier about, sometimes the teacher's asking yes or no or specific answer questions. What would you say then is a better line of questioning? How should the teacher maybe get a higher level versus yes or no? So what might be some of those examples?
Well, we always say that we look at who is that guy? Jesus Christ, I can't. It's okay.
Yep.
We ask very low-level questions of kids. Yeah. So it ends up being yes or no. And what we have to do is we have to use Bloom's technology. Bloom's technology has what we mostly ask in schools: remembering, understanding, applying. We really need to ask kids to analyze, evaluate, create. And so we have to ask questions that make them hypothesize. We got to get them to persuade kids, take surveys, ask questions of their classmates. And I think learning by doing, learning by asking, learning by talking. And unfortunately, I hate to say this about our phones and our media frenzy at this point. We're not communicating as well as we can, and so sometimes you got to ask some questions to figure out. I mean, some of these kids aren't going to be able to go on a decent date. They'll both be holding up their phones. We want them to be able to talk to each other.
Absolutely. I heard a presenter one time say a lot of teachers play tennis when they're asking questions, where we want them to play volleyball, right? They throw the question up there, but then it gets bounced around where the kids can then be more involved with it versus just a volley back and forth.
Yeah. And I think also too, Andrew, as fellow principals, the importance of us asking those questions to teachers. As we observe instruction and we're script taking and taking information about what the students are saying and what the teacher is saying too, is us having that better understanding and challenging that teacher to ask more higher questions and getting kids to be able to become more creative. That's one of the things that we want to be able to do, is develop that creativity within our kids, whether it's project-based learning or is anything else, that whole idea, and then having those kids come back and ask questions. And that can be used for instruction too, to help develop the class, and it develops much more rigor in that classroom because of kids asking questions. We're kind of looking at the I do, we do, you do model.
Yeah, I mean,
Gradual release, kind of.
Yeah.
but we really are talking about instructional efficacy. And I'm going to be very frank. I've watched kids fail in algebra, geometry, some of the higher order thinking, because the teachers are not asking questions of themselves. And so we have sort of a plan where teachers really explore those areas where they are not such good instructional leaders. Principals too.
Right.
You know, we have a chapter in there where we said, bring the party in. And it's true. You got to use a lot of resources in order to get that concept across to our babies, to our youngsters, and to our colleagues. If you're not asking questions where you're getting more feedback than yes or no, or I did it, or yeah, like that proverbial kid that comes home from school, what did you do in school today? Nothing.
Nothing.
So when you ask the question of what kindness did you do today with someone today? Did you find something that you never thought you'd ever see before in your class, in school today? Getting kids to say, wait a minute, I know mom is going to ask me, or the teacher is going to ask me something that gets my brain going, makes me more of an observer. You got to build that curiosity back. You got to
100%.
get kids excited about learning.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So questions help us make kids excited about learning.
Right.
You know, if a shark never sleeps, how does he rest?
Right.
How is it that the sky is blue? Well, if we compared a string and a pencil together, what ways are they alike? What ways are they different? And just being able to chew on something. And I'll tell you what extends the life of a classroom teacher is other kids talking to each other.
Right.
So I'm sitting next to Bill in the class. I don't know what the heck Denny Hall was saying. So Bill, what did he tell me? What did she just say?
Right.
So we got translators. We got that translator in there. So that extends the life. But you also have to be very intentional about teaching kids to ask questions.
Right.
That was probably the hardest and most difficult part of this book for us. How do you teach kids how to ask questions? So, you know, we came up with a number of different strategies. One, for example, was 20 questions. A lot of people don't know what that is, but, you know, you hold up something and you go, what's in here? You got 20 questions to ask. And then as that extends itself, and then instead of giving a test, we sound like Jeopardy now. Instead of giving a test where we want answers, we give a test where they have to write down questions. And that, of course, you know, that, of course, stimulates what we really, really want. We want grown people. I'm getting my bathroom remodeled. I had 100,000 questions from all kind of contractors and so on and so forth. And people are looking at me like, are you a designer or something? No, I'm not a designer, but, you know, I'm just trying to get myself into some sort of frame where I'm.
You got a lot of question power. That's what you got.
Question power.
That's right.
We got people watching live here. If you're watching live, jump in and say hello. Ask Vinny and Bill a question here. It's nice to have a live audience with us here. Vinny, a lot of educators want to write books. What would you say to an educator that wants to have their name on an excellent book like this? What would you tell any of the educators or people watching that might be thinking about writing a book?
Well, let me say this about that. I can give you a reason to enter for writing a book. The population in the United States has tripled since 1960. You have the elephant in the room that nobody really wants to talk about too much, and that's AI. So when you see the direction in which things are going, it's time for you to start talking, self-talk. That's what you said at the beginning of the program. You talk to yourself. You know, I'm tired of these principals walking through and criticizing what I'm doing. I'm tired of these pacing charts. So usually, sometimes starting a book means you write about something that you don't like, a habit that doesn't work for you. So sometimes that can be the aegis of why you go, oh, you know what? Somebody needs to write about that. Oh, it could be me. And that's how you do it. I think there's a book in every teacher, every administrator in the system.
Your book here too, again, filled with the strategies. But Bill, there's also a lot of research in here. You know, very, very good job of documenting all the notes and where you got the research from. Tell me about bringing in your own opinion, your own thoughts, but tying it in again with research, with facts here. Tell me about the research part of the book.
Well, I think one of the things in the research part we wanted to look at was, again, Bloom's taxonomy. We learned from Bloom, but we've also learned from other people in the field that are doing many creative things. You know, in my opinion, one of the reasons why American education is so popular around the world is because of our ability to develop creativity. Many nations want to come and study our school system because we are, in my opinion, the most creative nation when it comes to be able to develop creativity within our kids. But that important starts with questions and getting kids to be able to ask those questions. That becomes a key point of that total engagement and connection. And one of the things we wanted to do is we wanted to make sure that, again, it was research-based. People understood the research, but now also, too, you're taking and applying this research directly to your context in your school to improve overall education. And as Vinny talked about, too, is getting more of our teachers to step into teaching, or one of our people that are going in education to go into education. We have such a big shortage of education right across the country. So how is it that we engage the next generation of teachers to be able to come into the profession, share their creativity and their gifts? Because in my opinion, we're losing too many people in the area of business. You know, and business is gobbling people up because they want to be able to take our best talent and put them in a business so they can use it for a profit organization, right? And make a lot of money. But at the same time, how are they developing the next generation of leaders, which we're going to have in the United States?
Well said there, Bill.
To me, is the
Vinny,
most exciting part.
Thank you.
Yeah.
No, I said to me, that's the most exciting part. You got to pay teachers. You got to pay administrators. We do a tough job. I don't care. It's like being a stand-up comedian, and you have to have a different joke for 6 hours every day for 180 days.
180 shows a year. Yeah. That's what our Hall of Fame teacher here in Port Jervis said, that 180 shows a year. Vinny and Bill, give me 1 second. I'm going to do a quick commercial here. Sure. Speaking about educators and impassioning them, I just wanted to share. I got some speaking engagements coming up. This is my latest here. I'm going to work with the New York Athletic Directors Conference this week in Saratoga, New York. But I am scheduling summer events, school openings, and summer conferences. So I would love to hear from you. If you are planning an event and you want to have an engaging talk with strategies, with humor, with passion, with energy, I would love to connect. This is the name of my keynote with the athletic directors, taking times from my time officiating and translating them into schools. How does it work with us at schools? How does it work us being connected with other educators there? So I would love to hear from you if you are interested in booking your summer event today. All right. Thank you for that. Back to our guests here. Let's talk a little bit outside of school. You both shared a little bit of some of your passions. Bill, I didn't know this, but you are very much into physical fitness and lifting weights. Tell me about how this outside passion has impacted you as a school leader?
I think as a school leader, everybody needs to have some type of a hobby, to be able to blow off steam or be able to deal with a lot of stress that goes on as being a school leader. And that opportunity to get into weightlifting and doing some bodybuilding too really develops your mental focus. Because when you're in the gym and you're lifting weights, you've got to be focused on how much that weight is and how you're going to lift that weight. I think it also, like I said, develops more confidence in you too, to be able to have that discipline that you're going to go in the gym and you're going to be able to train. And while you're training, you're thinking about, how am I going to solve this problem that's going on? And now I'm in a different mindset to be able to take on that responsibility and solve that problem. And in my opinion too, also you're modeling what the expectations are for health and wellness. And it's always been a big part of my life from the beginning part of my career, starting out as a PE teacher. And we kind of have that in common, of that whole idea of basketball and different sports, soccer, all those different things and things I've actually done with the Chicago Park District in coaching kids. So I've had that opportunity to interact with kids in that particular way. And it's always been a big part of my life, this whole idea of health and wellness. Anywhere I've gone, from being a teacher to an assistant principal is the importance of health and fitness. And even I'll do the same thing with my students when I have conversations with them as adjunct professor. Are you taking care of yourself? How are you going to be able to give to the kids when you become a teacher if you're not taking care of yourself? Eating a healthy diet, making sure you're drinking enough water, making sure you're getting enough exercise, because you want a longevity career as an administrator.
But he brings pizza to me.
That's right.
Well, you are in Chicago. That's
when we develop our book.
That's serious pizza. I mean, New York is the pizza capital, but Chicago is right there.
It is. Yeah.
Bill, let me ask you this, though, along those lines of longevity. I mean, you were a power lifter in college.
Yes.
How have you adjusted now? We're not getting any younger. How have you adjusted that fitness of maybe not such, heavy weights, but what are some other things that you're doing to manage that as we're getting older here?
I think one of the key things, again, is being active and going to dumbbells now. I don't use a lot of free weights anymore because of my joints, but I'm still doing dumbbells and I'm doing machines. And I think that's kind of a key point, is you keep that momentum going in that direction of trying to stay as much as you can healthy and fit so that you can serve kids.
Vinny, how about you? Some of your passions here. You wrote about traveling, book clubs you're involved in. Tell me about some of your outside passions.
Let's see. I've been in a book club for the last 30 years.
Oh,
same group. And
same group?
The same group, believe it or not.
Wow.
We have a ball. We usually choose two books that we discuss every 6 weeks, and we take the summer off. And we argue like hell in June when it comes to deciding which of the books we're going to read. But I love the traveling. I got back from Thailand. That was an exhausting trip, but it was the greatest adventure I ever had my whole life.
Wow.
I have been to Kenya twice on safari and visiting with a colleague's family. Different kind of travel situation than going in a group. I've been to South Africa. I've been to Ghana. I've been to China twice. I have been, and I'm going to New York next week because there's a group of us that go every year and we see 3 plays on Broadway and eat at everything real fancy.
You get some.
And,
what are you going to see? What shows are you going to see when you come to New York?
I don't remember, but I know one of them is Happy Ending or something like that. We were trying to see Proof with Don Cheadle, but I'm sorry, I don't have that stuff in front of my face.
Yeah.
Without taking a minute.
Yeah.
And I also have a dog. And I
think the dog is an active reader. Am I getting that right here?
Yes, he is. Yes,
I mean, you talk about loyal. The guy even reads your book here, Vinny.
Yeah.
If you're listening to the podcast here, here's a picture of Vinny's dog reading the book, Question Power. I put it in the chat. I put Bill's website in the chat here. But this is Vinny Hall and Bill Truesdale, the author of Question Power. Well, have a good trip, Vinny, to New York. You grew up in the Bronx.
Yes, I did. And be sure you put the Bronx.
Yeah, the only
You know,
borough,
it's
the
not
only
like
borough
Brooklyn.
with the in front of it.
Yeah, and it's a duh Bronx. You know,
I love it.
I'm
love it.
on a group where they call me what one word makes you think of the Bronx, and it's use guys.
Use guys over there.
Like you saw in my cousin Vinny.
That's right.
Bill, what's something else you wanted to share? You're a longtime educator. You've put your hands in a number of different pots. What's something else you wanted to share about our field of education, or something that's on your mind?
Sure. Vinny and I are very grateful that we're going to be at the NASP National School Leaders Conference coming up in Orlando. We're going to present on question power magic, metacognition, executive functioning, and the art of critical inquiry in today's schools. So we're really excited to be able to present our book and this presentation, which will be very highly engaging.
Yeah.
Yeah, congratulations. That's not easy to get a session at those events. And obviously the material, the content is in a good way. Bill, you mentioned about the presenting on the book. I put your website here. Where can people find the book? Those that are interested in it. And again, I love the picture that's on there.
Yep.
Where's the best place that people could find the book?
Just go to Amazon.com.
Okay.
And just put in question power, how they change and influence instructional practices, Truesdale and Hall, and it'll pop right up there.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay. Vinny, what's something that you wanted to share?
Well, I'm going to be, I'm going to be like Cleo, the person that sees the future. Schooling is got to change. So,
yes.
Anytime you have a building that's open from just 9 to 3 and then it's closed and not used at any other time, seems to be a waste. So I'm looking forward to schools being open a lot more. I'm looking for people being more engaged in certain projects. I like the project-based reality shows. I see more career teaching kids skills that they can use. I also see that we can capture some good teaching using an AI vehicle that may unfortunately put some teachers out of business. But when you look at Cambridge and Oxford and the kinds of things that they do with their studies, it's like, come on in, Andrew. I want you to go to lecture on Tuesday at such and such place. And then I want you to go to, by the way, fly to Maine and go and visit with, Professor Ian Westbury. I want you to see those people. And then write an essay for me and let's discuss it. And I think that we're going to see education evolve differently. Our kids are not stupid, but if they don't, and we've got to put more languages in schools.
Yep.
It can't just be English. You got to be able to speak something else. I've been in places around. Everybody speaks English, but I don't speak Guarani, or I don't speak Spanish fluently. I don't speak French or German. So.
Yeah, and it's very true, because I had the opportunity to go to Finland, and in Finland they speak 3 languages: Finnish, Swedish, and English. Everybody speaks those 3 languages, no matter what your profession is. And of course, you have to be able to swim. It's required.
And they have their education system is highly ranked.
Right. And that's because they don't give the burden of these kids having to take tests in the first 4 years of school. They get a chance to play and explore. They do a lot of Montessori. We learn by our mistakes. It's not, you can't get 100 on every test. That's not the point. The point is, to me, education is, we are trying to teach kids to learn how they learn. Does that make sense?
It does. It does.
That kids need to know themselves. How do I learn how I learn?
Yes.
Or how do I learn anything new? You can't do that sitting on your rump
Exactly.
watching a video or playing videos or watching those thousands of channels we have now.
Mhm.
Thousands is right. Vinny, you've been a school leader a long time in schools every day. Give me three things. What should a leader in schools do every day? Three things they should do.
They should process information. They should be collaborating and cooperating.
Mm.
And they should have, I usually try to dress this up, but better still, I'll just say, tell yourself the truth. If you don't know what the hell you're teaching, either get yourself prepared so you do know and you can be effective. Other than that, at least admit to yourself, I don't know what I'm doing here.
Rely on your training, right, Vinny?
There you go. That's what you said.
And Bill, we'll end with you before we get to rapid fire. I opened the show with how can you be your best when it matters most, right? You're a college professor. Again, you were a college power lifter. You've been a school leader, presentations, things going on in school, first day of school, last day of school. What's some advice for our school leaders for them to be their best when it matters most? What would you say to that?
Number one is building relationships. You have to be able to build relationships with your students, with your teachers, and with your community. That's where the trust comes in. It just can't all be about the business of school. It has to be, how's your family doing? How can I help and support you? And that whole idea of building trust. Trust is number one in that particular area. You know, and then I think the next after that is observing systems and structures of what's going on in the school. Taking note of what's working in the school and what's not working. And then coming up with a plan, a collaborative plan built around what that school improvement plan is. What are going to be your priorities? What are going to be some ways you're going to measure that? And then I think third is once you do that too, you have to be able to appreciate people. You've got to be able to go in classrooms and say, you know what, you're doing a really good job. Leave them a note or something else, or plan to celebrate your faculty. You know, you look at a lot of high-performing schools, and one of the things they do is they celebrate their teachers and they appreciate them.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Because this job, teaching, is a really hard job. You really have to be able to love kids, but you've got to have an administrator that supports you and gives you the tools you need to be successful.
Absolutely.
And believes in you.
No matter how long they've been doing it, they want to be recognized. They want to be thanked. They want to
Exactly.
be acknowledged.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Well said. Friends, this is Vinny Hall and Bill Truesdale from Chicago, Illinois. Their book here, Question Power, came out in 2025. They're presenting at NAESP together. Bill's website is in the chat. You could also find it on Amazon here. Friends, let's get to rapid fire, and we'll get wrapped up here. These are quick answers, okay? We're going to bounce back and forth between the two of you. Are you ready?
Yeah,
we're ready.
We're always
All
ready.
right, here we go. Bill, you're up first. Last movie you saw.
Last movie that I saw, let me think now. That one too. I know I want to see the new one that's coming out, that Project one. I can't think of the name of it off the top of my head. It's about an educator who has to solve the problems of the world.
Ooh, I haven't heard of
it's
that.
called-
Well, here,
Yes.
I got one for you. If you don't know, I got one for you. The Penguin Lessons. Great movie on Netflix about an educator. The Penguin Lessons. That's for you. Vinny, last concert you went to.
Oh God, I don't even remember because I'm not the concert type going.
Oh, you're not
I think I went to
okay.
a poetry slam. I think someplace. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Bill, what's the last song you sang out loud in the car?
Last song is out loud. Let me think of that one now. Last song I can see. It must have been something about gratitude, Andrew, because that's what I'm working on every day. Gratitude, especially as I'm driving into work on the Stephen X Expressway down to Chicago, where I work at the State Board of Education. So yeah, it had to be something about gratitude.
Vinny, what we've made mistakes in our lives. What was the last mistake you made?
Let's see, I wasn't watching something. I was cooking on the stove.
burn?
I mean, it's big mistakes. what can I say about big mistakes? I am been in the same house for over 30 years, and it's 48 steps to get up to my house every day.
Wow.
Yeah.
And they're calling you now.
Yeah. So I mean, it's a good thing. Just it's a good thing. But as you get older, and I have had a knee surgery, so if you want to say the hardest thing, okay, that was it. Also, preparing for the dissertation, I had a tough panel, and I enjoyed working with them. I'm still in touch with my dissertation chair.
Dr. Hall.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right. Bill, we're almost done with the first quarter here in 2026. What's one thing you're going to learn or do in 2026?
One of the things I'm going to learn too is be able to do a better job of listening, be an active listener. Mm-hmm. I just got done being retrained for a National Certified Principal Mentor program with the NASP, and they did a real focus on active listening.
Wow. Well, and when you ask the right question, which you're talking about in your book, the next step is being a good listener for the answer.
Exactly.
That's right.
Good job there. Okay.
Yes, I'm going to give you 3
Vinny,
points on that, Andrew. 3 points on that shot, right in the basket.
Vinny, you're from New York. You're in Chicago. 2 food towns. What's your favorite dish?
Oh my gosh. I have to just be honest. I love steak. And I like lobster. You know?
What's your go-to steak? How is it prepared? What do you get?
Yeah, how it's prepared. I like Ruth Chris.
Whoa.
Chris. Yeah.
I hope Bill's picking up that. I hope Bill's picking up that bill there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. There's no point in eating a steak if you can't eat a good one.
Bill, you mentioned about the dumbbells before. You're a fitness expert. What's your go-to fitness move? If I could only do one exercise a day, I want to be healthy. What's your go-to overall best fitness advice there or technique?
I would say the dumbbell bench press is really good.
Okay.
Yep.
10,
because that builds
8?
up your chest muscles and your shoulders and your triceps. So you get 3 muscles.
Am I doing 8 reps? Am I doing 10? Do I want to do heavier but less reps?
What's your goal you're trying to build? Are you trying to build muscle? Are you trying to build strength or endurance? There's my questions again.
Longevity. I want to survive and thrive, Bill. Yeah.
Then I would say begin with sets of 10. And then once you can do that, slowly progress up 5 pounds, like maybe every week or every other week. And then back again to 3 sets of 10, you go back up again. So it's a progression. It's the overload principle.
Mm-hmm.
Vinny, deep dish or thin crust pizza?
Here it's okay. New York pizza is by far the best. So I'm just going to go with deep dish. I got to go with deep dish. And I do some exercise. I swim 3 times a week with a bunch of old people.
Good for you, Vinny. Bill, what's one thing you're curious about?
One thing I'm curious about is how people think. Because many people think many different ways, and to be able to understand them, you've got to understand how they think. Or what's the most important thing to them?
Well said there. Bill Truesdale, Vinny Hall. Guys, each you have a quote here to end the show, something that's meaningful to you. Vinny, we'll start with you. Give us a quote to end the show.
I don't know whether your audience can take my bad word, but I'm going to say it at any rate. Never write a check with your mouth that your ass can't cash.
Boy, Bill, what's your quote for us?
Questions are the answer. Tony Robbins.
There you go.
Ooh, very
And
nice.
by the way, Jerk Robbins, his son actually endorsed our book.
That's that's in the front of the book here. There you go. Questions are the answer. Amen. Friends, here's the authors of Question Power, Vinny Hall, Bill Truesdale. Good luck in your presentation with NAESP this summer. Again, the book is on Amazon. Bill's website is in the chat here, drbillcoaching.com. Please leave them a question or a comment in the chat. and it's been an honor to have the both of you on. I wish you the best of health on your journey. Okay.
Thank you for having
Yes, thank you,
us.
Andrew. We really appreciate you. It was
Really.
a great opportunity to meet you at the IPA conference. You did an outstanding job there. I was telling Vinny, one of the things I really learned from you is how to be able to use props with an audience to keep them engaged.
Yeah.
I actually did that in my last Toastmasters meeting. So thank you.
I love having props, man. You gotta have it.
Yeah.
You never know what you're gonna use a prop for.
That's
You know,
right.
that's right.
Thank you.
Well, it
Thank
was
you.
great to connect. And again, I wish you the best. Hopefully, the weather's going to warm up there in Chicago. I know it's chilly here in New York. So don't jump in the Green River today. I know Chicago dies in the
No,
river.
no.
Yeah.
I go to an indoor pool.
That's right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, stay on the line a second. We're going to sign off here on the podcast. Bill Truesdale, Vinny Hall, thanks for coming on, and keep surviving and thriving. Bye, guys. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Andrew.